Listen, explore, advise, deliver. That is the acronym for LEAD. For salespeople and people that are dealing with clients, it is probably one of the best things you're ever going to learn. Let me talk about what each one means, because when him and me got into it, the word explore, we had two different meanings. And so I'll tell you my side and his side here in just a little bit. All right. How's everybody doing on this beautiful day? It is raining here again. I think I'm 3 for 3 of doing podcasts when it rains on that day. So plants are becoming green. The desert is actually looking like it has something normal. All right. Let's see here. Weird today. I'll tell you what, super weird. I let an employee go today for something I never thought in a million years I'd let an employee go for. Sharing trade secrets. Never in a million years I'd ever think that, but they were actually sharing what we talked about inside of our four walls, inside of as a company, sharing it to the outside vendors. Holy moly. Learn to keep your mouth quiet. Learn to work with your company and stay inside your team. But I had a member that thought that gossip was more important than protecting the team. So that individual is no longer with us. So my PSA for the day, be loyal to your team. Don't share secrets outside the four walls. All right. I had an old acronym get thrown back up in my face, and I love it. And I was smiling and giggling. I ended up having a great conversation with this consultant, and he brought up the acronym LEAD. And I haven't heard this in so long. And I like it so much that I do want to share this with you guys and talk about each one of the 4 points there. But if you haven't heard LEAD, what it stands for is listen, explore, advise, deliver. That is the acronym for LEAD. And it really is for salespeople and people that are dealing with clients. It is probably one of the best things you're ever going to learn. It's a really good acronym. And let me talk about what each one means, because when him and me got into it, the word explore, we had two different meanings. And so I'll tell you my side and his side here in just a little bit. But the first thing with LEAD is listen. For all you gentlemen that are out there that are single, listen to me today. Just use this when you go on your date with your girl for the first time or any other time. How was your day? Well, how'd that make you feel? Well, what's happening? And just listen. Trust me, at the end of the night, you have won. She's very smitten with you. She'll be very happy. Just off of you listening. She doesn't want to hear about you. She wants to talk, get stuff off her chest. So just listen. Okay? Another PSA. You're welcome. But to listen, to really, truly listen to what your clients have to say. I cannot tell you how many times I've been training sales staff. I go with them out to the job site. I'm like, all right, I'm going to stand back here. I'm going to let you do all the talking. Then I will, talk and, tell you what your good points were and critique your bad points after the fact. All right, here we go. The salesman gets in there and they're nervous, and I understand that. And they go, hi, how you doing? So what type of sign do you want? Instantly, they're not making a rapport. They're just trying to get the facts and get out of there. So I'm like, strike one, but at least they're asking a question, but hopefully they're going to listen. The client goes, I don't know. And my salesperson goes, well, this is what you need. And then they just do all the talking. And I'm laughing my ass off going, you skip step number 1, listen. So they go, I don't know. Well, do you want a very formal shop? Do you want an informal shop? Is this a fun place or professional place? And you just keep asking questions to help them get that information out of their head to the point that you're painting a picture for them. Just keep asking questions and listen. Listening is very difficult. Almost nobody knows how to listen. I'm actually preaching to the choir right now because you guys are listening to podcasts to become smarter, more intelligent people. So you are the exception. Congratulations. You're probably in the 1%. But for everybody else, they love to talk. They don't really listen. So listening is a very key component there. Just want to take a moment to talk about SquareCoil here. SquareCoil has been powering the signage industry since 2011, and we're only growing bigger and better and stronger every single day. Some of the latest updates have just made my life a lot easier. I'm sure it's going to make your life a lot easier. So if you haven't checked us out, go ahead and get on our website, squarecoil.com. Take a look. And if you have an outdated key, an old software program that's going to be closing its doors this year, definitely take a look at us because we can make that transition real simple for you. Take a look at squarecoil.com. Number 2, explore. Now, I'll tell you what my consultant friend's idea of explore was. When he said explore, Look at all the different factors and avenues that affect the category. Do they have competitive competition in the area? Do we need to differentiate ourselves from the competition? Let's do a study on how many people talk to them in different age brackets. Let's try and figure out dynamics. And he was really dialing it in very, very macro and micro. And I was sitting there scratching my head. And I'm like, this sounds so familiar. Where do I get these reports from? All of a sudden it dawned on me. This is the type of reports I get when I go to rent a commercial space. The landlord has these reports. The age demographic, the ethnicity demographic, what's the income bracket for this area? What are they looking for? If the income bracket's $40,000 a year, they're looking for a McDonald's. If the income bracket's over $250,000, they're looking for a Ruth's Chris. There's a reason for the income demographics. But he was taking all of that just to explore the possibility of a sign on the wall. I'm sorry. That's so many details to try and hit the nail on the head. That's a little too much for me. Not really buying it. For me, when I say explore what the client wants. What do they want to convey? A sign is your first handshake. This is the first time your potential client or existing client is going to see you, shake your hand again, and move on inside the four walls. This is your first time to impress. First impressions make a difference. 100% they make a difference. So if we're trying to make a first impression, what first impression do we want to make? That's my take on exploring, getting the theme out of the client's head. So it was really funny as he's sitting there trying to do all of these factual things, and I'm trying to do feel, I guess. I'm sitting here going, which way do you want him to feel? And he goes, here's the facts. There's probably a middle road in the middle. I mean, a happy medium there. But for me, I'm trying to make my client happy. I'm trying to have my client have warm, fuzzy feelings. Every time they walk in the front door and they see their name on the building, they want to be pumped. They don't want it to be ho-hum. They want it to be unique and special. So the more I get them talking, the better off they're going to be. So for me, explore is very, very different. Advise. What are you going to advise on? If you haven't listened and you haven't explored, there's nothing to advise on. I'm sorry, but I cannot stand arrogant people that as soon as they walk up, they go, I know what you need. This is what you need. And then they try and shove their idea down the person's throat. When you advise, you have to figure out what avenues they like. There's a shopping center around here called Sprouts. And I have no idea how nationwide it is, so I apologize on that. I just know it's in Southern California. They have this cool little green leaf on it, and it has Sprouts in all lowercase letters. And the lowercase makes it understated. The green sprout makes it look organic, and it just has a nice feel to it. And they always do brown backing. So it's almost like a brown paper bag or dirt or nature or just natural colors. You just walk in and you get that sense that it almost has that theme that I'm walking into a nice organic market. They did a really good job on their marketing and their presence and their thought process. I give them an A+ on that sign and the way it reads and the way it makes you feel when you look at it. You can't advise on how to have a really cool sign like that if you haven't explored and you haven't listened. And so only when you have all the pieces enough to paint your picture, then you're going to want to advise. And this is something I've just started recently doing, and I love it. And the response I get is really, really good. And I always go, may I make a suggestion? And I say it just like that. I'm a fast talker. You guys all know I'm a fast talker. I go, may I make a suggestion? And all of a sudden their walls come down. They go, yeah, what is it? What do you got? And now they're going to be very open to hear my suggestion. If I jump right into it and start telling them what they need, that might get some walls come up. They might be defensive. Well, I didn't want that. I wanted this or blah, 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 or any of the reasons that they have. But if you say, may I make a suggestion, you're going to lower the walls of that person. And in turn, they're going to listen to what you have to say. That is the key to advising correctly to where you're going to get that client to where they need to go. We're selling them a sign. We are the sign professionals. We've seen thousands and thousands of signs. They haven't, maybe 2. They actually put any thought into. So with that being said, they're rookies. We got to guide them. But we can't advise until we've led and explored. The last one is deliver. Holy moly. For all you people in Southern California that are listening, my hat's off to you. Thank you for being the best sales rep my sign company has ever had. Why is it the sign industry has no idea how to deliver? They tell all these great things of what they're going to do, and then they miss their own deadlines that they put in place. They don't put the drawings back in the client. They don't ask for the sale. They send off a piece of paper and then just let it disappear like it never happened. My competitors in my industry, my God, you guys are my heroes. You make my job so much easier. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All you got to do is do what you say. All you have to do is deliver what you said. You want real brownie points? Under promise, over deliver. That concept is foreign to a lot of people. Let's just focus on do what you say, just deliver. All the time we say we're 6 to 8 weeks out for production once permits are in hand. We're 4 weeks out. Our clients think that we walk on water. We show up before, we say, hey, your sign's ready early. Can we come install it? They're so pumped. They're so excited because we delivered with what we're going to say. In fact, we delivered faster than what we're going to say. A little trade secret. We just under promise and over deliver. So LEAD. It's been a long time since we talked about LEAD. It's a really, really good acronym. I really like it. But the last thing that him and me were talking about was, how can we turn this into a macro that's factual and we can statistically measure it? Okay. How many times do you make the sale versus you don't? That'd be my first macro. How many times do you make the sale at a certain dollar number? I know that under $2,000 is sometimes a harder sale than the $8,000 to $20,000. I know over 50 grand, that's a little bit harder sale than the 8 to 10,000. Over 100 grand, it's actually pretty easy to sell at that point in time because they know it's such a big project. They can't wrap their brain around it and it's really easy to sell. But in those brackets, there's some harder ones, some easier ones. And so he goes, what macros do you want to measure? We came up with some good ones. Am I going to share them with you here? No. Are they going to be built inside of SquareCoil? Absolutely. Are my SquareCoil users going to get to access to this? 100%. It's part of their monthly fee. But having the macros, a part of LEAD was a big win. It was a fun conversation we had, so glad I got to share it with you guys. Talk to you next week.